Hi everyone, I'm Sakura, and today I am here to walk you through my push performance. In my head, playing a live set is like jumping to different parts of the stage, being the drummer, bassist, keyboardist, and so on. I like to prepare the parts as much as I can because the last thing I want is to get lost in my own performance. I begin by triggering the melody clip and shifting the frequency on the auto filter from all the way down. This way, there are no frequencies coming through when I trigger the clip, and the performance fades in subtly instead of starting abruptly. Then I sequence the kick and the snare using the step sequencer. I record the hi-hat by using the repeat function on push. Then I adjust the velocity real time by changing the pressure on the pads. Finally, I overdub the smaller subdivision at the end of the loop onto the repeated notes I already recorded. In the next section, I'm preparing to transition into the drop, so there's a lot happening. I'm introducing the bass by switching into mix mode and bringing up the volume that was all the way down. And then, I move the filter of the pad sound. In the first drop, I'm introducing a vocal sample. I like to use the drum rack for tonal samples as well, because even if I can select the scales on push, sometimes it's a lot more than what I need, especially if I just want to play a simple melody. For the vocal sample, I repitched the original sample and assigned them to the designated pads. I have 4 more pads above them to play the harmonies. I also capture the vocal samples instead of recording them because it keeps me in the flow. Once you've played a rhythm or melody that you like, hold down the record button and hit new in order to capture what you just played. I'm always on the lookout for how the overall balance is, so I go back and forth a lot between mixing and adjusting the parameters. I'm always tweaking the volume knob because it makes me feel more confident and in control of my performance. In the next section, I'm improvising using the note layout. I also have a damper pedal plugged directly into push. This way, I can control the sustain just like on a real piano. This track is in E minor, but I deliberately set the scale to E Dorian. With the natural 6th instead of the flat 6th, it adds a bit of tension and light, and there are more possibilities of happy accidents when I'm improvising. When I want a dramatic change, I drop most parts and introduce a new idea, and that's exactly what I did for the finger drumming section. I also waited for almost 2 measures because that way it builds anticipation, plus it gives me a few more seconds to prepare myself. I have 2 samples, this kick and this percussion, and I layered them to avoid playing 2 pads at once. And the way that I set it up in live is by taking those 2 samples and grouping them into the first pad. I always feel that the second chorus has to be bigger than the first one, so the drums are busier here and I have a new melodic sound effect playing in the background. Towards the end of the track, I use different things to fade out, such as volume fading, filter sweeping, and stopping clips. I normally start omitting the most present parts, such as the pad synth and the bass. My key to a successful live set is to build the foundation to perform as freely as possible. The more foolproof it is, the more little successes you have throughout your performance, and that way you can keep motivating yourself to take risks, perform better, and most importantly, express yourself. And that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.